Alright, yo, testing, testing. Okay, I didn't even need to restart the stream. That's sweet. So, like I was saying, guys, I did not trade this morning. Oh, how do I switch it? There we go. Guys, I did not trade this morning. I was getting back from a long car ride. It just didn't make sense to me. I didn't get enough sleep, and I wasn't feeling good. And I got back right as the market opened. So it was just like, it just didn't make sense for me to trade. And I don't get me wrong, I wanted to trade. But I was getting back right as it opened. My streaming stuff wasn't set up. Nothing was set up. I did observe the market, observe a trade that you could have taken that I really actually liked a lot. But unfortunately, like I just didn't think it made sense to trade, and I ended up going to sleep. Hopefully tomorrow I can just get back in my routine and keep going. We can keep locking in one day at a time, guys. But the trade that I noticed, there's actually a couple trades I noticed that were really nice today. So we're going to go look at those. We're just going to review the market in general. And the first one was, guys, look at how clean this was, right? Giant range, sweep of this high, manipulation, SMT. Change in state of delivery, 1 hour for value gap aligned with the 5 minute. We backtest this new day opening gap aligned with the change in state of delivery. And you can see how perfectly we hit midnight there. And then we aggressively expand towards these low resistance lows. And the reason I don't have stop loss at the high here is because we have very good displacement. And when there's good displacement, sometimes, most of the time, you always want to have stop loss at the high with flow state when you're entering on a retest. But when there's good displacement, and I just have had screen time, sometimes I'll just make it a little smaller. Usually, you almost want to always have stop loss at the high though. And then, yeah, that's what I noticed. I think that trade was really good. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to screenshot it real quick. And then I'm going to save this for to put in my folder for the day. So this is the first trade of the day that I noticed. This was a flow state retest. It was at 9:35. Now Jan said that he noticed it, which he said that he didn't take it because it was in the pre-market, but it wasn't in the pre-market. So I don't know what he was talking about. But yeah, the trade was not in the pre-market. This was once the market had opened. So 7:23:25. I was close to taking it. I was kind of close to taking it. I didn't do it though. Just didn't seemed like a bad decision to just enter when I wasn't set up and stuff. But I almost did enter it. So saving this as 9:35 flow state retest. 1 hour, 5 minute. And then I also noticed this one live as well. This was really cool. We had, we came all the way down. We had taken out these low resistance lows, and my eyes went, nice, dude, nice snowman. I saw we took out these low resistance lows, and my eyes immediately looked to this SMT because we almost instantly had this really obvious SMT here. And I wasn't necessarily for sure bullish because we were expanding lower. I was kind of undecided. Once I was watching the market, I wasn't live streaming. I mean, I kind of, obviously I wanted to, but I wasn't really set up. It just didn't make sense. And I noticed this 5 minute gap here, right? So this 5 minute gap was sitting below all these lows. And so I was looking for a 30-second change of state delivery off this 5 minute gap, and we actually did end up getting it. And I outlined this trade, and I almost said something in the Discord. I actually did say something, and I deleted it because it was kind of stupid. But we had this 5 minute gap, so I was looking for 30-second change of state delivery off of this. And once again, we have SMT here, and we sweep out these equal lows. So liquidity sweep, and let's see. You could also mark the SMT out like that. It really doesn't matter because this is still the SMT, right? Yeah, it's all an SMT, right? Okay. Anyway, SMT. So this to me was manipulation. And I really did think this 30-second change of state of delivery right here was going to be good. Especially because I like these low resistance highs here and here. And I'd be lying if I said I actually took this, but I went break even right away at this first standard deviation, and it ended up being break even almost instantly. Like, well, not instantly, but after like 10 minutes. But the way I was the way I was thinking about this was, well, we had SMT here, right? SMT, sweep, 30-second change of state of delivery. And so I loved this retest, and as well, this is like a 2022 model where's CSD? Where we have a fair value gap in discount of the displacement leg after a liquidity sweep. So this is like a 1 minute gap here. And so, yeah, I went break even at the first standard deviation. So right here, I went break even, and just ended up being break even. I don't know. I maybe shouldn't have taken it, to be honest, because I just was not set up, but it ended up being break even. I did like it though. 5 minute change state delivery, 30-second. 5 minute fair value gap, 30-second change state delivery, and then you can see we backtest OTE of the manipulation move. Once again, Jake trades it original. No one else talks about that because I discovered it. So, yeah, I've never seen anyone else talk about this because literally, yeah, no one else will talk about it because I literally just figured it out from looking at the chart so much. But when you have a flow state model, we'll backtest OTE of the manipulation leg. So, 5 minute change, 5 minute for value gap, 30-second change of state delivery. We have a nice little internal sweep here. But then you can see if I measure out standard deviations, right? Second standard deviation lined up well above these low resistance highs. And in a perfect world, maybe I could have held this, but I was so close to considering re-entering right here at OT, but I was like, nah, that's just such a degen move. I'm not gonna do that. And it ended up being right? Because the reason I also thought that is because this is a BPR. So I was anticipating this BPR to hold price here. And so I was thinking OTE would hold, and I was right. And it's a good observation for the future. First standard deviation hit, second standard deviation hit. And then, as well, we end up going up to fourth standard deviation, max extension, which is aligned with this consolidation here. Yeah, if I measure this out, you can see this was just a giant liquidity pool here. So, liquidity pool. And like I said, I wanted to take this, but I did not hold it. I went very aggressive on the break even because I really was not watching the charts, right? But I almost took this. And you can see this was like a perfect market maker model, right? This is literally probably going to be in the Jake Trades It textbook because this is so perfect, right? This is exactly what you would expect to see. Sweep of external lows, sweep of internal lows, change state of delivery from a 5 minute gap, retest the 30-second change state delivery, OTE backtest, second standard deviation, fourth standard deviation. Right? This is like textbook. Now, like I was saying, like, could it have been cool to take this Jake, do you trade lunch hour? No, I don't. I'm just observing the market. But I think if a good setup happens during lunch hour and the market has been consolidating prior to lunch hour, I think it's okay to take it, right? It's just a matter of how good was the setup. That's at least how I see it. But yeah, most of the time you want to avoid lunch hour. It just depends on, is lunch consolidating or is lunch making a move higher? Anyway, I'm going to screenshot this. I did try and take this. I got break evened out at the first standard deviation, and I was going to go. I'll show you exactly what I was thinking. Right? I was thinking TP1 here. I literally tried to take this TP1, and then I'm gonna do TP2 here, and like TP3, and I was gonna take half off at TP1. So I was gonna go like this, and I literally tried to check this trade, but I got break evened out. So I'll show you exactly what happened, right? So yeah, once again as well, this is like a 2022 gap here. So that's another reason I like this. But if I go on and look at the contracts that I should have bought, right? Retest here, stop loss at the low. So basically I bought 4 contracts, right? I entered with 4 contracts, and I was trying to do it like this, where I was gonna take 1 off here, or no, 2 off here, 1 off here, and then 1 off here. And then enter, I was entering with 4. Yeah, this is basically exactly how I was trying to take this trade. I'm considering implementing a part of my strategy where, you know, if I think a model's still valid and then we hit OTE, I don't know, this kind of might be dumb, but like, I almost want to pyramid at OTE sometimes, because the model's not invalidated, and look at this RR, right? But I'm not going to do that yet until I get better. But crazy stuff. Look how perfect this was, right? So, screenshotting this. Oh yeah, big time. That's why if you're doing aggressive, like for me, like you have to know which accounts you should go break even on and which ones you shouldn't. For me, like, if I have an account that's like I'm risking heavy because it's like an evaluation, I'm going to go break even a lot less. But on my real accounts, like my funded accounts, I go break even a lot more because I risk literally only 200 per trade on 2,500 trailing drawdown. So I have a lot more wiggle room. So that's why I usually, but if honestly, I'm considering doing it where like maybe I just don't really go break even that much on eval, because I actually risk pretty heavy on eval, and you know, if I'm risking heavy on eval and it ends up being break even, it's basically gonna feel like a loss. So I'm thinking that maybe on eval I just don't go break even. That might be actually a good solution to that, unless it's like a really obvious reason I should be going break even. But because I just like, I hate having to deal with that as well, because when you get break even on a trade that is on an eval with your doing high risk with aggressive unrealized trailing drawdown, you get wrecked, right? So I don't know what the solution to that is for sure, but I honestly, that's probably what I'm gonna do. That's probably what I'm gonna do. This is nice, bro. Dang. And like once again, imagine you enter at OTE of the changes data delivery, right? So this is how I take this. Oh, did I screenshot it yet? I don't know, man. I'm gonna screenshot it again. So this was 1020 flow state retest, 5 minute, 30-second. And as well, this was a 2022 model that I noticed as well, because you have liquidity sweep, right? So I'm going to mark this out as a 2022 model as well, where you have a liquidity sweep. Two different kinds of liquidity sweeps, actually. Liquidity sweep, another liquidity sweep here. So liquidity sweep, to me, because of the displacement, I would consider this break structure. Plus, you actually do break structure here. You actually do break structure here. You get a break structure. So then then our eyes go to, okay, in discount of this displacement leg, where's our fair value gap, right? In discount of this displacement leg. So right here, our eyes go right here. This is our 2022 gap. So our eyes go to this 2022 gap, and this is 2022 model. And I kind of tried to take this as well, but I didn't. I did not end up taking this. So once again, liquidity sweep. I actually just want to mark this out as a liquidity sweep, and then break of structure. I mean, you could also just, this is good enough displacement where I'm like, I could probably consider that break of structure, but then actually, yeah, let's go back. So liquidity sweep, break of structure, and then this was a really nice fair value gap in discount. And the thing I love about 2022 gaps is you can get such high RR on them. And so what are we also doing when we're buying in this fair value gap? We're inducing this low. So that's another thing I like about this is we're pairing our entry with inducement of a low. So that's beautiful, genuinely, right? So that's another reason I like this. So 2022 gap, inducement of a low, and then yeah, my entry would stop. You could even put stop loss at the low here, right? And that would allow for incredible RR. Stop loss at the low here. I mean, this is why the 2022 model can be cracked if you know what you're doing. And I feel like, it just takes time and practice, because sometimes, like, I get a little nervous and I feel like, oh, man, you know what I mean? But if you have conviction and you just take this, this is just genuinely beautiful. So, well, how many contracts will this be? So, like 6 contracts. So just mark this out as 6. So you're buying 6. And I usually just round down, unless it's like pretty close to 7, then I'd round up. I'd probably do 3 off here. I'd probably do 4 off there. And then 2 more off here. That's probably what I'd do. Or I would do actually 1 off here. Yeah, probably just do that. One off there, 1 off here, Yo, Medbach, what's up, bro? Yeah, this is a very clean 2022 model. You took this? Dang, bro, good job. That's awesome, man. You took this exact trade? That's impressive, man. That's impressive. I tried to take something like this. I got break evened out. But that's why break even can be a little bad sometimes, is sometimes you don't need to go break even and you just need to hold because of conviction. So it just depends on context. Because of me? Oh, dang, dude. Thanks. I'm glad I'm helping you, man. But yeah, and then as well, I just talked about this, but this is a 5-minute gap, so this was also a 30-second change state of delivery. And so, look at that, man. OTE tapped perfectly. Jake trades it original. No one else talks about this. Measure out the change state of delivery. Find OTE. This is going to be laser precise, right? Laser precise. So there's that 30. Once again, 5-minute gap, 30-second change state delivery. Measure the manipulation leg. Find OTE from this change state delivery to the low. OTE is going to be hypersensitive, right? Jake trades it original. But traded evals. Let's go. That's awesome, man. So, yeah. Sometimes you just need to. This is why, like, confidence actually plays a decent role in trading. Like, you need to go into your trade knowing it's a completely good trade and take it with complete conviction that you know it's a good trade and not change your mind. And that is something that is on its own. It's incredibly hard to do. Because, like, for me, I took this 30-second change state delivery. I went break even hyper fast because I just, I wasn't on stream. I just felt like it just made sense for me to go break even a little faster. But once again, I should be trading the same no matter whether I'm on stream. I should be, taking good trades no matter what. And honestly, this would have been a better entry because you're inducing this old low here. And you're still entering in this fair value gap. That's in discount, right? So this honestly would be even a better entry, and the 2022 model is not invalid. Whatever, though. Whatever. Yeah. So let's go ahead and screenshot this. Bang, 2022 model. That's probably how I take it. So this was 1035. 2022 model on the, technically this was on the 1 minute, yeah. Bang. And from a late PM win, market maker buy model, but traded evals, yeah. That's awesome, dude. Okay, so then the nice thing about this is we had low resistance highs through here, and this became the draw on liquidity for going into the afternoon, and then that's exactly what happened, right? We went up towards those low resistance highs. It's just crazy how, like, the draw on liquidity can become so obvious and change so obviously. Like, what happened? We go from low resistance lows here. So this was like really obvious in the morning, right? This was the draw on liquidity. So imagine you don't know what's going on with price action. Your eyes go to the left side of the chart. Where's the low resistance liquidity? Right here. So your eyes go here because this is just the most obvious low resistance liquidity on the chart. So then where do we go? There. And then look at how the draw on liquidity changes perfectly, right? Now that we've hit this low resistance liquidity, now where does the market seek? Opposing low resistance liquidity, right? It generates this liquidity on purpose. If anyone who says otherwise has no idea what they're talking about. So, yeah. From one low resistance liquidity to another. Just genuinely beautiful, guys. from one low resistance liquidity to another. And so, yeah. And as well, I mentioned this very briefly in the Discord, and I deleted it because it was kind of dumb, and we weren't respecting it at first, so I was like, this is probably stupid of me to say, but turns out I was right, and I should have just held my conviction and not changed my mind. But if I pull up our Goldbach levels, which is basically where should the 2022 model form, that's basically what this is. That's all this is. Where should the fair value gap for the 2022 model form? That's what this is. So when this loads, let's make this go down one more. It's basically an invisible dealing range. So this by the way, these orange lines, these are like the liquidity sweep partitions. So this orange and red line, this is like where you anticipate the liquidity sweep to happen, right? So we anticipate liquidity sweep to go into the orange, break structure, fair value gap to form within the fair value gap zone, right? Fair value gap forms within the fair value gap zone. So you see that's where the fair value gap was. Now this one wasn't perfect. Oh, actually, I mean, we do end up coming back to it pretty perfectly later on. That's interesting. So honestly, I think maybe the more obvious version of this trade was to take this, because this isn't really an obvious break of structure, but this is. This is much more obvious break of structure, to be honest. Honestly, I don't even think this is a break of structure. I think this was. So once again, break of structure, sweep liquidity, equal lows into the liquidity sweep partition. Break structure, and I know this doesn't say, like, it's not a specific fair value gap, but just use common sense, right? This move higher is gonna act like a fair value gap, and it is a fair value gap actually. It's right here. I don't know. Even though it's not. I mean, maybe there is a fair value gap in here. This is just the type of stuff that I love, that just fascinates me so much about the market, is like just looking at what happened in the past. So equal lows swept into the liquidity sweep partition, break of structure. Once again, we have our fair value gap partition. Honestly, I'm done asking people for permission. I'm gonna count these as fair value gaps, because what is this? It's literally the same as a fair value gap. It's just not precisely measured by the specific time frame, right? But this is a fair value gap because conceptually it's gonna act the same as a fair value gap. So I don't care that it's not. It is, right? So I'm done asking people for permission to do this. The gap between this wick and this wick is a fair value gap, right? So 2022 gap right here. And then where's our partition for the 2022 model, right? This is the fun part. Where's our 2022 partition? 1540 market maker buy model inside 15-minute BISI. All right, we'll take a look at that one in just a second once we're done with this. So low the dealing range. Here's the fair value gap partition. And to be honest, sometimes you can kind of combine the fair value gap and liquidity void partitions, right? So this was fair value gap partition. Well, I guess it's not perfect, but you guys get the idea. Actually, nah, on the 5 minute, this is very clear on the 5 minute. It's object, because I hate not being objective, right? When I'm not objective, that's the worst. But this 5 minute gap is very, very obvious and objective. It's you can't argue with this 5 minute fair value gap. It's obvious, right? So then we go from the low of the dealing range to the high of the dealing range here. Boom. And go run these low resistance lows. So this was the draw on liquidity. So the cleanest way to take this is just on the 5 minute, and you just take this as a 5 minute 2022 model. So the thing about these dealing ranges is it doesn't need to be exact, right? The 5 minute gap formed in discount of the dealing range close to the fair value gap partition. We broke structure after sweeping liquidity coming from the bottom of the dealing range. So it's never going to be exact. And it's just like a treasure map is what it is, right? So then honestly, yeah, just enter at this 5 minute fair value gap here. You probably even put stop loss here, and then target that low resistance liquidity. This is how I would take this, like this. Boom. W. I mean, this is a very clear breaker structure. Like, objectively, this breaker structure, you can't argue with it. This is one of those breaker structures that's just like, yeah, you can't argue. This is a breaker structure. This is obvious. So, once again, liquidity sweep into the liquidity sweep partition. Fair value gap forms after breaker structure, and then we go run low resistance liquidity here. So I go like that, and look at that. The stop run goes into the low resistance lows. Beautiful. Yeah, I'd put stop loss at the end of this wick here, like that. Boom. Okay, let's go ahead and screenshot this 5 minute 2022 model. We have double bottom in NQ, LRLR, SPX to low. We might revisit. Dude, I'm going to have to check that out. That's awesome. Very good to know. Yeah, this was this is one of those 2022 models. It's just super obvious. And also, is this a fair value gap, or is this going to act more like a liquidity void, right? This is going to act more like a liquidity void because we have low resistance highs above. Pay attention to the liquidity. What's the liquidity pool? In this situation, the liquidity pool is above this gap, so the market's going to want to break this gap. This is not going to act like a fair value gap. It's going to act like a void and want to be filled. So there we go. Liquidity void. Boom. And yeah, then we just, expand up to those low resistance highs. So let's go ahead and screenshot that, even though I already did. Okay, I'm going to take a look at both of those things that you guys just said. So this is 1105 2022 model, 5 minute. So 1540 review inside 15 minute BISI. All right, let's go into that first one that Hyper said. So we had a 15 minute BISI. This is a nice BISI because very clear that we have, swept out these lows and are now expanding up. Do we have drawn liquidity higher? Yes, we do. We have these low resistance lows. So this makes sense, right? You can see why going from this 15 minute fair value gap to these low resistance lows makes sense to form a trade idea. It's a very nice higher time frame trade, right? So once again, accumulation. Since this was accumulation, this was manipulation, right? Very clearly this becomes manipulation. And I'm just going to say yeah, this is break of structure, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone else says. This is break of structure. Even though it didn't hit it's the displacement that matters, guys. ICT literally said it doesn't need to close above the wick. If it has good displacement, it's break of structure. So this is, in my opinion, it's about the displacement. Did we get displacement? Yes. Is this a nicely placed fair value gap? Yes. So I don't care. So manipulation, accumulation, manipulation, break of structure, and then we have low resistance lows here. So our trade idea on the lower time frame is going to be to look from going from this 15-minute gap right here. So our trade idea is we're looking at this 15-minute gap and we're anticipating a move up to these low resistance highs within our accumulation, higher time frame, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So 15-minute, 2022 for value gap. Actually, I'll just call this a 15-minute gap. It is 2022, but I'm just gonna call it 15-minute. Okay. So our eyes go from here to here. And then let me make a note of this. We are looking for a lower time frame flow state trade off this 15-minute fair value gap to go run the LRR within this higher time frame AMD. Right? So once again, accumulation, manipulation, and now we're after that, now we're anticipating distribution. So here's distribution. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So I'm screenshotting this. Good typing skills. Thank you, bro. So I'm gonna title this prep higher time frame view for 15-minute, 1-minute PM flow state. So now we know this is a high probability 15-minute gap. We're gonna drop down to the 1-minute now, and you can see that we come down, sweep these lows very, very nicely. I mean, this is textbook, guys. Textbook. So I'm just gonna actually redraw this as a dark box here. FEG. So dark box. 15-minute fair value gap. Man, this was just beautiful, Hyper. Did you take this? This was awesome, man. If you took this, great work, dude. Wow, dude. Just so nice. So, liquidity sweep. Honestly, a lot of time I'll like marking out. A lot of time I like marking out both external and internal sweeps, but to be honest, it's fine. So, what happens, right? Accumulation. Dang, that's awesome, man. Great work. Accumulation. Low resistance highs all through here. Okay. Now, manipulation into the liquidity sweep here. And then you can take this out with this change state delivery or this one. I'd probably do the higher one just for, you know, extra good measure. And once again, this is also not only change state delivery, but it's also a 2022 gap here. So I go like this because this is more feels safer to use that one. I'm just being realistic on what I would do. Man, I would have a lot of conviction in this trade, I'm not gonna lie. And look at that, Jake trades original right there. Back testing OTE. No one else talks about this. It's just me. Honestly, no, I can't say that, dude. Yeah, nah. Genuinely though, like, I've never heard anyone else even talk about this. Backtesting OTE. It's just a nice confluence for your trade. Like, if you see that happen and you got LRLR above, you know you're on side, man. You just can tell. Beautiful. And then we go run those low resistance highs here. Wow, today's gonna be probably a really good market recap. So second standard deviation, fourth standard deviation. That's interesting. Okay, yeah. So Jake, this is a Jake Trades original because I've never heard anyone else talk about it. I just kind of one day was just messing around on the charts and I discovered it. But I kid you not, I know that sounds crazy, but it'll blow your mind. Just trust me on this. Just give me a shot to explain to you how cool this is because it is genuinely mind-blowing, right? So you know how every model requires a higher time frame key level and a lower time frame change state delivery, right? In this case, this was a 15-minute gap, 1 minute change state delivery. Well, same way you measure out standard deviations, you know, these are your targets. First standard deviation, second standard deviation, fourth standard deviation, right? You measure these out to target. Well, you can also add OTE to your fib. And after we get this change state delivery, and actually sometimes even before we get the change state delivery, we will backtest OTE of this entire manipulation move from the body to the wick. So measured out from the body to the wick, and you can see that's OTE right here. Once again, body to wick. And then for OTE, this is the laser precise entry for once I become an even better trader one day. I could take trades like this. You enter at OTE instead of entering at the change state of delivery, and then you could still take your same take profits that you would normally take for your normal trade. So you're basically entering while the original trade is in drawdown at OTE of the original trade. And it's just laser precise, dude. I mean, same thing happened here. Do you remember this exact same thing, right? We had this 30-second change state delivery here. And then what happened, right? If you measure this out from the low to the change state delivery, we backtest OTE before expanding to our fourth standard deviation. So this is the market will backtest OTE within these models and then expand to our max standard deviation. Yeah, bro. I know. Literally just discovered it one day, man. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy, dude. But like you just gotta backtest it for yourself. You don't have to believe me. Just go in the charts, observe it, see if it's happening. This is why I ignore everyone else, because if I observe something happening from my own backtesting, I'm gonna use it. Other people, that's the reality of trading, is people are going to kind of just lie to you, tell you stuff that is not true, or just, you know, try and deceive you. And I don't know why it's like that. I want to try and change the narrative, but you know, while everyone's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and just do what makes sense to me and try and actually help people. So once again, OTE back testing. It's very, very, very crazy. OTE of the manipulation. And yeah, man, someone should probably clip that and make that its own video, because that I probably explained that really well, and that's probably the best I've explained it. Like if someone clipped that and made that into a video, I would just make that and upload that as a YouTube video right there. Probably go viral, to be honest. But yeah, from OTE, yes, bro, yes, back test it to that fourth standard deviation. So accumulation, LRLR, distribution. And yeah, just the rest is history here. Crazy stuff, man. Wow. Could you imagine you just held this like a degen? 20 to this LRLR. 21-1, dude. Wow. I cannot wait to catch trades like that. Oh my gosh, dude. How cool would that be? That's why I keep showing up every day. So yeah, up to that fourth standard deviation. You retired? What do you mean you retired, Danny? Like you just got so good that you can just retire now? Or did you take a loss? Man, this is going to be an awesome market recap today, guys. I stopped trading now? Like you're done forever? Why, bro? Oh my gosh. This was right at 1550? Bro, that's crazy. Oh, you've unretired. You're back now. You're unretired. That's funny. So I want to make this video for T-Trades. Can someone clip this and send this to T-Trades, please? Someone clip this and send this to T-Trades. Just do it, right? If macros don't exist, then why did we tap OTE right at 1550 and then expand to our low resistance liquidity, the higher time frame one, before the end of the macro? Why? 21-1, perfect. Macros don't exist, right? So what? Explain. Oh, we should definitely take a look at that hyper. That's a great idea. I'm gonna screenshot this first, though. Yeah, someone clip that, send that to T-Trades for me, please. Thank you. Just kidding. You don't need to do that, but if you want to. Yeah, did I screenshot this yet? This is crazy, dude. Flow state OT. I need to also save that regular one. Yeah, we'll take a look at the first presented for ViaGap. So 15, 50, flow state, OT, 15 minute, 1 minute. And then as well, just the regular one. This is the regular one. Regular flow state right here. This was beautiful. I would have such high conviction in this trade. I'd have such high conviction. So this was flow state retest 15 like 47 or 1548 retest. By the way, guys, if you ever want access to like all of my trade notes from the past like 9 or 10 months, just let me know, and I should make it like a folder people can download. 1549. Yeah, 15. Honestly, 1548. Flow state retest. 15-minute, 1 minute. And guys, I highly recommend doing this. If you aren't, just screenshot every trade that you observe, and then make a folder for every single day, and then separate that into months. And that's what I do. And guys, it just compounds. Like the knowledge you have, it's like a chess player memorizes positional puzzles because it's going to help him remember that position in the future. Saving all those trades, it's the same thing. We're remembering situations in the market that happened, and we're able to execute based off of that specific situation by having all those trades in our brain. So I gotta find my charger. I really hope I didn't forget my charger. That's But yeah, guys, tomorrow we'll be right back at it, and we will be live. Hopefully I'll be locked in for once and take a good trade, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. Found my charger. Nice. Alright, let's go take a look at the first presented for value gap. Genuinely, this is so beautiful. Trading is just so cool. I don't care how obsessed people think I am. It's just so cool, and I'm not going to care like what people think, because it's just like when we're all millionaires, dude, and they're all looking at these videos and they're like, wow, they were just right the whole time. It's just gonna be funny because they're gonna be like, wow, I understand why you were so obsessed, because the markets are literally perfect. All right, let's take a look at that first presented for value gap. Someone was asking me, like, is it only on the 1 minute? And I'm pretty sure that it is, but Haney, I was gonna ask you, do you know if it's like specifically for the 1 minute chart? Because I was asked that, and I said I'm pretty sure, but I actually don't know. So here's 9:30. 9:31. Let's just hit the indicator to tell us what it was. Okay, it was this. First presented for value gap was right here. Guys, I need the people that are like hating on my first presented for value gap. Okay, it's specifically only on the 1 minute. Good to know. People that are hating on the first presented for value gap in that video from yesterday. So there were like 2 people that were like, you just spent 3 minutes and you didn't explain anything. Anything else won't be precise at all. Only 1 minute. Okay, very good to know. Thank you, Haney. Appreciate it. So it's like, it's just funny because the people hating on my video yesterday, what are these blue boxes? Are these overnight gaps? Probably. Or are they new day opening gaps? PM gaps. Oh, first presented for value gap of the PM session. I did not know that was a thing. Okay. So anyway, like I was saying, there was a guy that was like, dude, you just wasted my time, 3 minutes. I'm like, dude, he's like, you basically just said it could either be respected or inverse. That's not helpful at all. I'm like, dude, you're missing the entire point of the video. That was the confusing part for me, because I thought it had to be respected, right? But no, it's just used in either way, depending on the drawn liquidity. And the people who don't understand that, they're never gonna get it. They're never gonna get it, and I feel bad for them, because it's literally like a new day opening gap, right? It's just an ultra sensitive level in the market that's gonna get respected all the time. And I feel bad for all these people who don't get it, but you know what? That's okay. That's okay. We don't need to have them get it for us to be profitable with it. So yeah, this is just pretty cool. Every session have a first presented for value gap. Dang, dude, I did not know that. Thanks, Haney. I appreciate that. It's really good to know. First presented OB is more precise than FVG. Really? Wow. Look, I can't get over this, dude. Do you trade crypto? I don't trade crypto, but I do like crypto. I just don't have a lot of money for me to be just investing in it, really. But I do like crypto. I was big into crypto like couple of years ago. This is so cool. I wonder if we come back to it later on. No, just this time. Okay, let's go ahead and screenshot this. So sick, man. So sick. I'm just gonna make an arrow here. First presented for value gap, revisited in PM session hours later. Haney, do you know how long the first presented for value gap can be used for? Is it just the end of the day, or is it can the first presented for value gap be used on the next day, like the one from yesterday? Can that be used for today? You know. So used later on in the day. Crazy, dude. I don't even know what else to look at, man. Genuinely, this was... Yeah. Nice displacement here, right? We break this high, and then we form a fair value gap. So this is like a little micro 2022 model. What's my strategy? Liquidity. My strategy is anything to go run liquidity, right? So that could be an inverse fair value gap. That could be a flow state model. That could be the 2022 model, right? I don't trade a strategy. I trade conceptualizing where are the stop losses in the market. 60 days. That's crazy. Wait a second. It can be used next day, but I don't use it. New day one. But having one for 2 or 3 days, we support resistance. Yeah, it gets too confusing. I would just use it for 1 day. I totally agree. I totally agree. Okay, that was not perfectly where it was supposed to be. So yeah, this was like a 2022 off of a 2022. And then we go expand up to these low resistance highs here. So it's just very valuable to know when is a fair value gap going to hold, right? When is a fair value gap going to hold? This is one of the most important things in all of trading is understanding the difference between when a fair value gap is going to hold and when a fair value gap is not going to hold. And the answer is displacement. And this is where, like, I think a lot of people get confused, like break of structure. In my opinion, break of structure is just any time you have candles with displacement, because that's meaning the market is going to be drawing to wherever it wants to go. So, for instance, right, we sweep out this low here. We get displacement. I don't even want to call it break of structure anymore. I just want to call it displacement, because who cares whether it's a break of structure, like legit break of structure. What matters is, was there displacement? And in this case, there was. So that's what we wanted to see, was displacement. That means the market's drawing up to wherever the next low resistance highs are. So enter here on this fair value gap. 2022 gaps, just basically fair value gap entries, right? I put stop loss here. Yeah, we go run up to those low resistance highs. Some markets are just so cool, dude. What would this be? 2.8. Just casual 2.8 R in the middle of the day, just randomly. Yeah. liquidity sweep. I mean, I guess you just consider this break of structure. Also BPR there. Oh, good spot, Haney. I mean, not Haney, Hyper. Yeah, that's a nice BPR too. I'm gonna honestly call this 2022 BPR. And I'm gonna get rid of this line, because the orange line, when there's an orange line, I know that means break of structure mentally. I don't even need a, same reason I know these dollar signs mean liquidity sweep. Anytime I draw an orange line, that's gonna mean break of structure for me. Just to keep my chart clean. Alright, there we go. Just so clean. And then LRLR. Man, this is going to be a good market recap if I can remember everything. That's the hard part about market recap, is I feel like I literally forget some things, which is not good, but... And once again, we're delivering from a fair value gap, a BPR. So delivering from fair value gap. Nice, dude. Markets are so cool. And Javier was telling me we can retest break of structures, which I did not realize, but that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. Uh-oh. You can't read this. How long did it take you to be a profitable trader? Bro, I'm semi-profitable. I'm not even going to lie to you. I just do stupid things, but I genuinely, like... it's just because, like, I'm not focused in the morning, or I'm distracted, or I just... you know what I mean? But I've gotten payouts, so... 10:43. Let's go. But I've been doing this just under 2 years. So 10:43, 2022. 1 minute. Man, we've looked at so much today. This is why I'll let myself, like, if I take a win, that means I'm in the right mindset. And so if I take a win, this is why I let myself take another trade if I take a win. But if I take a loss, to me, the loss signifies that I'm out of it. And which is why I don't like taking another trade if I take a loss. Same thing here, guys. We sweep out these low resistance highs here. Once you see it, you can't ever unsee it. It's just so obvious, right? We sweep out all these low resistance highs. We sweep them out. So then we break this low. What is this? Break of structure, fair value gap, low resistance lows. And then we go run down to those low resistance lows here. That's crazy, dude. Once again, this is one of the situations where I like it. 2022 gap. I like it. Stop loss at the end of the gap. And I'm realizing a lot of the time you can do that. Or at the end of the middle body of the gap. That's sick. So yeah, we sweep liquidity. That is cool. $12.12. Okay, 12.12. This is what I mean when I say theoretically. Like, I try not to trade lunch, just lower probability, but just depends on how is price moving. If I have good displacement and I see a fair value gap, okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? 12.12. 2022. 1 minute. I should honestly film the market recap soon because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Just genuinely, just fire day. Wonder how many people are watching. Yeah, I honestly want to film the market recap so I can move on with the day, and then I also want to film a short form video. So, oh, there's 8 people watching me backtest right now. That's crazy. Well, tomorrow, guys, we are going to be locked in. We're going to hopefully take a really good trade, but you know, all we can do is just do the best we can and keep showing up. But there was just so much opportunity today. I wish I could have been on the charts. I really do. Would have been so nice, man. Hey, let's go, Haney. 8. That's a lot of people. Yeah. Like I always say, guys, I trade liquidity. I trade stop losses. The entry model is just the tool of me. I don't care if it's an inversion. I don't care if it's a 2022 fair value gap. And I don't care if it's a change of state of delivery. I trade the conceptualization of where the stop loss is on the chart. I mean, that's how the best traders in the world do it. They might not say it like that, but that's how they're doing it, right? The entry model is just a tool. That's really is what I believe. Other people saying that you have to do a specific strategy. In my opinion, I don't think they're that experienced, and they don't really know how the market actually moves because it moves to run liquidity. That is the strategy. There was probably an inversion in here. Let's go look at that. Right? Was there an inversion in here? Yeah. 4 minute. I don't know about I don't know if I like looking at 4 minute gaps. What do you guys think? Do you think if you saw a good trade on the 4 minute, would you take it? I've never really actually taken a trade on the 4 minute, but I'm not opposed to it. I've just never done it. Right. Same thing here. This is another 2022 model where sweep. I know I kind of talked about this already, but sweep. But I talked about it as a change of state of delivery, not a 2022 model. So sweep, break of this high. No, you've never taken a trade on the 4 minute? Okay. So not a very popular thing. Me personally, no. I feel like I wouldn't be opposed to it if it was like really nice, but I've never actually taken a trade on the 4 minute. So once again, sweep, manipulation. And the reason I like this is this was at the bottom of a 15-minute gap. Snowman also says no. You guys are really hating on my 4-minute gap idea. No, you're not hating on it, but you guys are just like, yeah, we've never done that, dude. That's just you. I've never done it either. I've actually never done a trade on the 4 minute, but I don't know. There was not really any inversion in here. There was a 4 minute one. Yeah, you can. Don't let anyone tell you not to. I agree, man. I agree. If I see a really good one, I'm gonna take it probably. But I mean, I've never done it before. So yeah, this is what I was saying, right? We had a 15-minute gap. So this is what gives me the conviction to say, okay, this is probably gonna be a 2022 model, right? Because we sweep those lows into the bottom of the gap. You know what would be crazy is if we have a new day opening gap at the bottom. All right, everyone place bets. Do you think that there's going to be a new day opening gap at the bottom or an event horizon? What are the odds? What are the odds? Percent-wise, what are the odds? I'm gonna go with 25% chance. 25% chance there's a new day opening gap at the bottom. The least time frames, weekly, daily. I just have everything as easily to access. Like, I don't want to have to type it out. Like, I just think having it easier to access, there's really no harm in that, personally. Yes, it will. You think it will? What are the odds, guys? What are the odds? I would say I don't want to say anything higher than 25%. Maybe 30, maybe 35%. I mean, it's not all the time, but it happens quite a bit. Okay, I'm gonna look at it in just a second after I save this. This is one of those situations where, 2022 gap is so close to the low, I definitely put stop loss at the low here. So actually, I want to treat this as if it was a real trade. So how would I take this, right? Quantity 1. So that means 10 micro contracts. So I would go 10 at the fair value gap, 10 entry. Let's just look. 50%. Oh, we just barely missed it, dude. Unless there's a new week opening gap. We were close. That would have been cool if there was. Okay. So how would I take this exactly? How many contracts would I get? Well, I would do 10 contracts because it says 1 regular contract, so 10 micros. So 10. And then, so 10 on the retest. And then I would definitely take at least half off at the end of this LRLR. But it did go to org low. Really? That's cool. That's really good to know. Honestly, with the way I've been trading, I'd just consider taking all off. But I'm just going to pretend like it's a trade in the future where I've just gotten really good, right? If it's a trade in the future where I've gotten really good, I'd go half off here. And then I'd probably do, you could do half off at the high, but there's also low resistance liquidity over here. And once again, we mapped out the higher time frame, right? We knew this was gonna be a high probability 15-minute gap. So theoretically, right, you could go for these low resistance highs. So what I'd probably do is I would do 3 off at that high and then leave 2 runners to go for this. That's probably what I'd do, right? So I go like 10, 10, 5 off here. Realistically, I'm at break even. Maybe even trail. I'd probably trail. TP1 and trail. Because, I like preserving gains. Probably trail like to there. And then, so 5 off. And then 3 off at the body. Once again, I never take profit at wicks. I only take profit at bodies. But how did do org go? I don't even know how to get the org to pop up, to be honest. Is there a way for me to get it? Is there an indicator I can use? I know I can switch it to regular trading hours gaps. But, so 5, I'd go 3, And then, yeah, the rest just go for this LRLR. This would be a magnificent trade, man. Magnificent. Five, 3, they're like runners. Because once again, this LRLR on the far side of the chart is just genuinely beautiful. Look at this consolidation here. I'm taking profit right in this consolidation. That's where people are going to get stopped out. Right with these equal highs. That's where I'm taking profit. Exactly there, man. Exactly there. Notice the silver bullet. Ooh. Wait, yeah. Wait. Silver bullet, wait, what time? This? Are you talking about this? So once again, TP2. I like to trail runners to at least the swing low, or at least the wick of the swing low. So I'll probably go trail runners here. Trail runners. And yes, I trail my stop because I like preserving gains, dude. I personally don't, if we are expanding, I trade stop runs. If we're expanding in a stop run, we should not be coming back to old swing lows. The whole point of stop run is we are expanding, right? So why would I not trail my stop? And other people who say, oh, don't trail your stop, like, I also think they don't know what they're talking about, because the whole point of trading a stop run is you are on side with the market stopping people out. So why wouldn't I trail my stop to at least the swing low? So trail runners, and then we go right up to that final take profit. Boom. So once again, to revisit how I would do this, 10 contracts because it's saying buy 1 regular NQ, so I buy 10 micros because 10 micros equal 1 regular NQ. Trail stop here for TP1, TP2, and then leave runners, 2 runners to go for the higher time frame LRLR. This was a nice trade, dude. And it was also AMD. Very nice AMD. I'll look at the silver bullet right after this. And also, guys, the reason I'm backtesting right now is because, once again, today's not a normal day for me. We were driving back from the family reunion, and I don't really have anything going on today, so I'm just backtesting. So hopefully today's market recap can just be awesome. Go like this. Oh, that looks so much more clean. And then hard time from LRLR. Yeah, I was gone too. Yeah, me and you both, Haney. Me and you both. That's okay though. You don't need to trade every day. For sure. Honestly, I'm gonna start making final TP bold like this. Yeah, real. And yes, you normally hold through this LRLR, but I've already gotten so much on this move here, I just be content with it. So yeah. This was beautiful, man. Oh my gosh. Accumulation, manipulation, 2022 gap, liquidity sweep, break structure, Fervaya gap, bang. Into market close. Once again, this was the macro as well. 1550 to 1610. So the last 10 minutes and the first 10 minutes of every hour are a macro. This is when you can expect a high probability move to occur. Bang. Whoops. And yeah, there we go. Bang. That's how I would take that. So I'm gonna screenshot this. Dude, this is probably the trade of the week, dude. 1547. Dude, I feel like we're gonna get so good at trading soon. I really do think so. I mean, we're genuinely like, we're on the edge of serious breakthrough. 1547. 1 minute. 1547. 2022 model. 1 minute. And then, as well, right? Let's see how this fits in with our dealing ranges, just for fun. Because I like doing this. Just checking, right? Can this load? I'm wondering, what if I go half? Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. See? Now it makes sense. Right? This makes sense. Accumulation. This fits in a lot better, doesn't it? This fits in a lot better because liquidity sweep into the liquidity sweep partition. There we go. This actually makes so much more sense. Okay, watch this. Liquidity sweep into liquidity sweep partition. So I'm actually going to I'm going to make a new template for this. Orange. So liquidity sweep partition. So yeah, there we go. So this is these red lines are the lows of where market maker models should form, and the oranges, this orange line is where we should sweep liquidity into. So orange line here. So liquidity sweep into the liquidity sweep zone, break of structure, right? We break this high. Actually, you can mark any of these as a break of structure. Cleanest one, probably like here. So then, what happens, right? Where do we get our fair value gap? Well, let's see. Once again, right? I'm not taking fair value gaps literally. Sometimes I just take fair value gaps as how does a fair value gap, like how does a fair value gap work? It moves when there's displacement. So even though this isn't literally fair value gap, it's going to act like one because this is the same signature that a fair value gap has. So I take it from this to this, from this wick to this wick. Once again, imagine if this was the 3-minute candles were like this, right? Imagine if the 3-minute candles were 1, yeah, imagine if it was imagine if this was one candle. This was one candle. And, wait. No, imagine this was one candle, this was one candle. And then, yeah, this would be a fair value gap, right? Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know if that's making sense, but this is, you can see this is exactly where the fair value gap was supposed to form, and it's the same signature you would have with a fair value gap. So I consider this fair value gap. So 2022 gap, and then what happens? We expand to the high of our dealing range, which was aligned with these highs over here, right? Crazy. Very crazy. So accumulation, manipulation, break of structure. And then I'm going to also mark this out as the fair value gap partition. Right? See that? That's where the fair value gap should form. So, bang. And bang. And then where do we go? High of the dealing range. Actually, we go to the extension of the dealing range aligned with this high here. Yo, random guy, good morning, dude. That's crazy. It's literally almost 4:30 in the afternoon for me. But yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have a live stream this morning. I would have loved to do a live stream, but I literally couldn't. Well, I could have, but it would have been a disaster. Like, I didn't have all my stuff set up for live streaming. I just barely got back. I literally had like 5 minutes till market open right when we got here. I was super tired. I knew I wouldn't trade well. Like, everything was just not lining up. So I didn't do a stream, but yeah, that's why I didn't stream today. But hopefully tomorrow we'll be right back at it and we'll be locked in, ready to go. And like I said, this is exactly where the fair value gap should form. Crazy stuff, right? Bang, bang. And then, yeah, expansion to external high. So I like probably stop loss. Yeah, Haney, you're 2 hours ahead for me. Probably put stop loss, you know. I'm anticipating this entire thing to hold, so I'd probably put stop loss there. You could, if you're very aggressive, you know, stop loss here, or maybe here, but that's for degens. I'm just going to play it safe, and then I just go like that. Very, very clean trade, guys. Oh my gosh. Wow. This was clean. This was just as clean as you can get, dude. Wow. Accumulation, manipulation, fair value gap partition. We can also mark out the low of our dealing range here. Right, this was our dealing range low. So this was running on the 81. Yeah, 81. And we go up to 81 high. Like I always say, if you observe something working in price action, stop listening to other people telling you how to trade. You do what you observe in the market and what makes sense to you. At the end of the day, no one else is clicking that buy or sell button for you. So you're going to just trade in the way that makes sense to you. And for me, these dealing ranges actually do make sense. They're just, where are the 2022 models likely to form? And then just use common sense from there. Like, common sense says this was accumulation, liquidity sweep into the low of the dealing range for a value gap, high of the dealing range, right? To me, like, it looks confusing, but to me, it makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to use it. And you guys, you don't have to, but I like it. Okay, I'm going to screenshot this once again. This was Enigma for right at 16 o'clock. On the 1 minute. Okay, let's get rid of everything else. Guys, we've looked at so much. I think, like, we are so set if we wanted to just film this market recap right now. But the cool thing about trading is there's always more. Like, there's always more I can look at. Just trading is so fun. I don't have anything else to do today. Might as well just keep going, dude. This SMT was nice. I'm just going to screenshot this SMT and just show how cool it was for the rest of the day. SMT, bang. And look what happens after that. SMT, boom. SMT, liquidity sweep. There's probably an inverse value gap here, actually. Let's see if there was. 1 hour, we wick above the high. I don't like it. 30 second, same thing. 30 minutes, same thing. 15 minutes, same thing. 5 minutes, same thing. There's not really a good inverse value gap. Well, actually, I don't know, guys. This is not that obvious to me, but is this an okay inverse value gap or not to you? Kind of like iffy to me, to be honest. But it would give you high RR. That is the benefit of this one, right? So yeah, you know what? You could take it. It is an inverse value gap. It's not like it's not. It's just a tiny fair value gap. I don't know. What do you guys think about this tiny one? Because we also had SMT at that low, right? We have SMT with this low. So we have stacked SMTs. Stacked SMTs. Another S&T. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I like it. I like it. I know it's not like the biggest inverse for value gap in the world, but it's clean. It's clean. It would most likely be break even trade looking at this realistically, because I'd probably go break even. But let's say I did not go break even, right? Let's say I just held this up to these low resistance highs. 3.7 to 1. Nice, bro. I just love observing, dude. It's just vibes. Making observations. I wonder how many people are watching now. Probably a lot less. Yeah, 5. I should probably film the market recap, to be honest. Oh, you know what else is nice about this? Oh, I was going to say this is market open wick, but it's not. Never mind. Yeah, this isn't necessarily like my favorite trade because it just seems risky. But it's a trade dodge you would take, I feel like. So you know, I'll save it. I don't know if I would take it, but I'm gonna get rid of that. I just rather we just keep it simpler. And yeah, the final TP from now on, I'm gonna make it dark. I think that's clean. This is one you could honestly do all off at the drum. I don't know. That's kind of risky. I hate doing that, but you just know with LRLR like this, you're either gonna hit it or you're not. Okay. So there we go, bang. So, yeah, you could do 4 contracts, 4 micros. Probably just go 4 and 4. Screenshotting that. So this is a IFG 5-minute 1045. 1045. Yeah, I should probably film the market recap, dude. We've looked at so much today. This is genuinely like gonna be a really solid market recap if I can remember everything. It's been a lot. 1045. IFG. Should we look at anything else for fun? Like, I don't know, just like random stuff like time levels. How did we respond to those? Let's look at that. How do we respond to time levels today? Yeah, today was nice for time levels because, you know, manipulation occurs above. So the manipulation for the day, at least in the market open part of the day, was right here because we have 8:30, we have midnight. We have this giant range. We get SMT with this high. So SMT with this high. So this is how you detect manipulation. Are you above or below 8:30 and midnight? Pay attention to that. If we're above it, then, you know, probably gonna manipulate here, distribute down. Manipulate up, distribute down. If we're below it, we might manipulate down, distribute up. So, and then once again, right, giant accumulation range. And so, as well, what else did I want to look at? Oh yeah, session stat map. Okay, we did not go quite to the session manipulation level or the session distribution level. What about the 1 hour? Oh man, see, you guys have to pay attention to which stat map level we're running on, because we weren't running on your classic New York stat map. We were running on a 1 hour random 1 hour candle, right? We were running on a random 1 hour candle today. See that? Bang. M minus, there we go. Yeah, random 1 hour candle today, and then down to the D minus. Man, just crazy nice day. So 1 hour. 1 hour distribution, statistical distribution level, right from 1 hour statistical manipulation level to 1 hour statistical distribution level. Bang. So when you see this as a confluence, guys, when you see us manipulate with SMT above old high, perfectly into, with SMT, into the 1 hour stat map manipulation level, it's like, yeah, that's high confluence, right? High confluence for manipulation. And then we distribute down to the 1 hour distribution level, aligned with, yeah, those lows. That's crazy, dude. I need to clean up my templates so that I don't have so many, but it's just like a messy room, like I haven't gone to it. Crazy. Screenshotting this. So time levels and stat map. Okay, I think I'm gonna film the market recap. Yeah, I think we're good to film it. I gotta make a short form video. I literally have no idea when to make it on. I'm probably gonna not make it super hard on myself today. Stat map and stat map, time levels, and AMD. We just gotta catch these live. This is also why I want to be on the charts for longer in the morning, so we can have more opportunities to catch things live. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. We've been on this for a while now. Sorry for I don't know. I shouldn't say sorry. It's just it's been a long time, but it's been a good stream. And yeah, I think I'm gonna make the market recap now. So I will see you guys later. Peace out.